The first part. It says 0.6, but it's actually 6.1.
Okay, I'll take a look at all the screencasts. I'll take a look at all the screencasts and I'll relabel and whatever. I'll see. So let's just recap what it is that we did in this chapter. First, we went over 0.6. Remember, that's from chapter 0. Homework was on page P27. We learned the dimensions of a matrix. We learned about the different types of matrices. We learned how to add and subtract matrices, right? And, how to solve an equation like this. Then in section 1, we learned how to take a matrix, take a system of linear equations like this, put them into a matrix, and apply this process called Gaussian elimination in order to put the matrix in row echelon form. Then after that, we use substitution to solve, and we get this, right? Okay. So I know that, this is probably what confuses students most, because there are so many, in the beginning especially, you feel like, there's so many ways it could go, and it's just so overwhelming. I promise you the way, it's just to stick with it. Sometimes the numbers get too big and we get disheartened, but you just have to have faith in yourself and in the math that you're doing, right? So what I want to do today is maybe go over some of the homework questions that are giving you guys, some of that anxiety. Because listen, I do remember back in the day, right, decades ago, when I was in 11th grade and I learned this stuff. And even back when in college, I was doing this stuff again, just that like that frustration, right? I remember that. I do remember that. And so, I don't mean to be unsympathetic to you guys, but I also do know that with time, these things, dissipate. Okay? So let's see if we can accelerate that before the quiz. Yeah.
When you put things in row echelon.
Row echelon form.
Yeah. You have to make it so that, because I was confused about this on the homework. When you, if the end of the problem is it starts with 3x or something, you have to simplify that.
So it starts with the 1. Right. So proper row echelon form is when this main diagonal, just that main diagonal, is all 1s. And sometimes to put something in row echelon form, we will get, fractions or whatever, right? Like this one. To put it in row echelon form, sometimes I do get fractions, because in order to make this a 1, I need to sacrifice those whole numbers. And that's okay. Row echelon form can have some fractions in there.
Can Z also equal fraction?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so as far as homework is concerned, what's one that you guys want to go over?
42.
Okay, I could barely make out any number. 29? Okay, why don't we start with 29? Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yeah. We have another method also where it's instead of just taking the first coefficient to put the entire equation, on the quiz we have the option to do either or we have both.
What do you mean?
No, that was just if there was 5, 5, and 5. Just 5 rows on them.
No, do you remember the G1, the Gaussian elimination?
Yeah, it's all Gaussian elimination.
Right, but we did it a different way.
Oh.
You mean using matrices or equations?
We took the equation itself and then.
So when we do this, we're not gonna use the equations. We're just gonna do it using matrices.
So just taking the first.
Just matrices, yeah.
I kind of forget everything. I thought we were trying to get zeros in the little corner thing.
Right.
So how do you get 1 also? Or just
Okay, so let's do one. Yeah. Let's do one.
Tell us, for all of them, are you solving for the same thing? To get, because
Yeah.
the special cases, you want us to get zeros on the bottom for that, and also the ones that go into it.
So for the special cases, you either will get a row of zeros or you'll get 0, 0, 0 and a number. That's how you know it's a special case.
Okay, and then when you're solving like everything else, you want to get like the row echelon form.
Yes. Let's do one, and I think it'll like jog our memory.
Wait, what are
Um,
we doing?
29, I think I heard, right? So let's start with 29. All right, so here we have 2 minus 10, 1, 28, negative 5, 11, 7, 18, 6 minus 1, minus 12, 14. Okay. So the first thing we did is put this into a matrix, right? Okay. I know it's kind of light. Change the color. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to change these three in the bottom corner into zeros. And remember, the easiest is to start with that one, okay? So to make that one a 0, what I'm going to do is what? Multiply this by 3, and then minus this, right? So 3R1.
So it doesn't matter if you start like it doesn't matter which number you start.
Right. So what I'm going to ask when I'm doing this is if you have like questions, write down your questions. I may answer them like while I'm solving them, and if I don't, please ask me later, right? Unless it's like you can't live without getting that answer at that moment, okay? All right, so 3R1 minus R3, so that's 0. Okay, so here we're going to get negative 30 plus 1, negative 29. Okay, I already see like a possible pitfall here with these negatives, right? You know, when especially on a test or a quiz, we might be rushing, blah, blah, blah. Like, so be careful with the negatives, okay? So, next one, 3R1, that's 3, plus 12. How much is that? 15. Okay, last one, this one, right? So how is that, what's that gonna be? It's 3 times 28 minus 14. Okay, so how much is that? Oh, I don't have, is it 7? 70? Okay. Okay, next one. On the quiz, you will have numbers that you can do without a calculator, all right? Okay, so next one, I'm going to change this one, okay? So what do we think? This times 5, this times 2, and add? So 5 row 1 plus 2 row 2. And you do have to be, you know, like careful and meticulous, right? So that's 0. Okay. Sometimes when the numbers are larger like this and I'm multiplying with, you know, like all these like weird, you know, different numbers, I do like to like scribble some things down so I can see it, right? Rather than doing it all mentally. So it's going to be negative 50 plus 22, right? So how much is that? Negative 28? Okay, and then the next one is going to be 5 plus 14, 19. The next one is going to be 5 times 28 plus 36. Can someone tell me how much? 176? Okay. See, already these numbers are just ugly. And you're just like, you know, like something inside you tells you you're doing something wrong, but that's only because you're not used to working with numbers that large. So just stay the course and we'll see what happens. Okay, the next one we're going to leave untouched. Okay, now I'm going to work on these 2 rows. The next thing I need to change is that negative 29 to a 0. Okay, what I want to do first, especially when I have bigger numbers, just double check to see if there is a number that you can divide all of these numbers by, which there isn't in this case. So unfortunately, we're stuck. Okay, but in order to change this number to a 0, what can I do? Right. So I'm going to multiply 29 row 2 minus 28 row 3. Does that work? Yeah. So 0, 0. So here, that'll be 29 times 19 minus 28 times 15. Can someone tell me how much that is? 131. And then the next one, 29 times 176 minus 28 times 70. How much is that?
3,100.
Oh my. Okay. Yeah, okay. So the other ones, I'm just gonna copy over. Okay. So what now? Does that simplify?
You can divide that bottom by
131, what does it give you?
1 and 20. That's so nice.
Oh, 24, okay. Okay, so we're gonna divide row 3 by 131, so I get 0, 0, 1, 24. Right? Already it worked out so nicely. Okay, now to put the rest in row echelon form, I have to divide the first row by negative 28. So I get 0, 0, 1, negative 19 over 28, and then 176 over 28 isn't yeah, I am. Okay, so that'll just be 44 over 7, negative, right? So what we did is row 2 by negative 28, huh? Divided by. And then row 1, I'm going to divide by how much? 2. So I get 1, negative 5, 1/2, 14. Okay, so this is the matrix in row echelon form. Okay? On your quiz, and you'll see on the practice test, I actually have a box. Where is it? Okay, so I actually have a box like this where you're going to put the matrix in row echelon form, okay? And then you're going to solve it in the next step. So let's go ahead and solve it. Okay, so now that I'm going to solve, I know from the bottom row that z is 24. Okay, to solve for y and z, I don't want to use this matrix. I can use any of the matrix in the steps above. So why don't I use this matrix here, right? That will tell me negative 28y plus 19z is equal to 176. And so that's negative 28y plus 19 times 24 is equal to 176. And I know you guys can do the rest. And then for the x, it's 2x minus 10y plus 1z is 28. You plug it all in and you get your x value. Okay? So the process is always the same. Yeah, the numbers might get bigger or smaller, but it's okay. And you know what? You might end up with, a fractional value for x or y or z. You might end up with x equals 1/2 or z equals negative 2/3 or whatever. That's fine. Okay? All right, were there any other questions? 32. Okay.
Because it changed row while I was with it.
Okay, let's do 32.
Question before we do that about this.
Yeah.
So you always do, you don't want to.
So, okay, so the matrix is going to be negative 2, 1, negative 3, 0. Okay. The first one is going to remain unchanged. So first I'm going to change This one. All right, what do you guys think? What should we do? There are a few options. Yeah. 5 and 2?
4, -4 and 2. Row 3, 2,
So-
row 3 plus.
So that would not make it 0 because it's 3 and 5. But
Could you?
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking.
so 5 row 2. I'm sorry, 5 row 1 plus 2 row 3. Yes? Okay. So 0. And then 5 plus 4 is 9. -15 plus 16 is 1. 0 and then 26. 46. Okay? Next, we'll change this one. So 3 and 2, that'll work, right? 3R1. Yep. 3 minus 8, -5. -9 plus 20, 11. 0 minus 14. Okay. Okay. It's not possible to simplify any of these, so let's go to the next step. -2, 1, -3, 0. Okay, we're gonna change the 9. So 9R2, 5R3.
What? 9 or 5? Why can't we just do 9 or 1 minus 4?
That's the rule.
You can't, then you wouldn't have 0 in the bottom left corner.
Exactly.
One on, one
So
negative.
if you use these two, then it's gonna be like -18 plus 0, so you're gonna have -18 here. You're gonna undo the 0. Right. So that's why the order that I told you guys to do it in, that's sort of like choice, but it's the way I always do it because it just makes it so much simpler. But this works, right? 9 and 5. So -45, +45, that's 0. Okay, so 99 plus 5, 104. And then here we have, is it 104 again? Yay. Okay. So now let's put these in row echelon form. Okay, so row 1 divided by -2 is 1, -1/2, 3/2, 0. Row 2 divided by -5 row 3 divided by 104. Okay, and that's row echelon. All right. To solve, z is 1. And then again, I go back to this matrix. -5y plus 11 times 1 equals -14. And then -2x plus y minus 3z is 0. Okay? All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So